Living spaces all around the world are getting smaller and more compact. From fast-growing cities that need to squeeze more and more people into the same place, to university students that need a small dorm to live in during their schooling. A lot more people are taking into consideration about what they put into their living spaces, so that they still have enough room to walk. A study done in 2018 by LABC Warranty showed that the average floor plan to a living space has decreased nearly 13% in houses that were built recently in 2018, compared to houses in the United Kingdom that were built around the 1970s. Other people that may be affected are those that are not in financially stable situations, as they may only have enough money to purchase one item, such as a chair or a table, but not both.
There are many useful pieces of multi-purpose furniture out there, such as bookshelves that work as stairs, and a bed that also has storage units inside of it to keep storage compact. But two very necessary pieces of furniture for any household is a table and a chair. And that's what we did. We took into considerations its safety towards the user, made sure the design was simple to manufacture, and was very intuitive for the user to assemble and use, and could be very affordable.
Our goal while designing this multi-purpose piece of furniture was to come up with a design that could fit anywhere, in any living space, big or small, due to its easily folding design that easily fits in a 100 by 100 by 100 centimeter area, and can at one moment be a chair, but after a quick swivel, would be in a sturdy tabletop form. Our design also would not have any sharp corners to ensure that nobody could easily scratch or injure themselves, and would easily be able to sit anyone in chair form or hold many different dishes at once in table form. It would have to be at least 30 centimeters off the floor in chair form, and couldn't be any lower than 40 centimeters in table form. And its simple wood material would ensure its long-lasting lifespan.
We went through some initial designs before we finally ended on our final solution. Our first design consisted of a normal-looking seat that had a hole in the middle of the base, and a pole that could rotate out of the backrest of the seat. The backrest could only rotate one way, towards the seat, and it would be held up by only the person leaning against it. As the backrest folded into the seat, the pole would rotate out and would insert into the hole in the base, keeping the backrest securely in place while in tabletop form.
We decided to not go with this design at all, as it was not practical. We realized it would be a pain to use, as whenever the user stood up from the chair, there was a chance that the backrest would automatically fold over into its tabletop position, as there was nothing keeping it in place when in chair form other than the user leaning against it. It also contained a noticeable hole that would be awkward to sit on and not really good to look at from a design standpoint.
Our next solution was a vast improvement on the previous one. We instead went with a design that contained only two pieces, which kept it simplistic but very functional. It consisted of a frame that would hold the multi-purpose part and had a track that would be loosened and allow the chair to easily rotate into its table form. But this posed a safety concern when we discovered that over time, from the user getting on and off the chair, could actually loosen the screws that were keeping the chair in place. After using the chair only a few times, this could have led with the user sitting on the chair and then the chair folding in on the user, causing an injury.
So instead we made a few adjustments until we ended up with a notched design. The notched design was incredibly similar to the track design, but instead of relying on screws that could loosen over time to keep the chair in place, we now relied on the user's weight. Instead of having a screw on either side of the frame going into the sides of the seat, we now had stationary pegs sticking out of the frame that would slide into the notches on the seat. This not only made the chair form safer when being used, as it stopped the possibility of it sliding to a position where it could then rotate, It also made the process of rotating into the table form a lot more intuitive and quick, as the user no longer needed to manually loosen screws. We also added a cushion to the design in order to add comfort while the user sits on it, but it wouldn't affect the transition to or the use of the tabletop form.
While we researched the reason for creating this multi-purpose piece of furniture, we discovered that many people would benefit from a chair that also transformed into a table. As living areas get more dense and housing gets more expensive, it is necessary to have an option that can not only fit into dense living spaces for university students or microhouses, but also accessible and affordable to those that live in households that can't afford many different pieces of furniture. We also realized how important it was to use sustainable materials that could easily be recycled or used for other products, while also being healthy for the environment. Some improvements that could be added in the future are some rubber or grippy material on the feet of the chair to avoid damaging the floor it's sitting on and to prevent the chair from sliding around and potentially harming the user. The transition from chair to table and vice versa could be streamlined and made a bit easier, as the current iteration requires the user to hold the movable piece and drop it into place. An improved design could be one where the entire object stays as one piece and can slide into the different forms, without requiring the user to actually hold the entire piece.